Hello, welcome to Matters of DeCorum. I'm Scott Corum. This is what matters to me. I am on week 2 of reviewing the 3-book set Spelljammer for Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition. I was not entirely impressed with the Astral Adventurer's Guide. I'll sum some stuff up at the end. I have a feeling I'm going to have words to say after I read the 3rd book. The 2nd book, Boo's Astral Menagerie. The creature compendium, the monster manual for Spelljammer specifically. Boo is a miniature giant space hamster. He is the companion of a ranger named Minsk, who you are familiar with if you know the lore of the Baldur's Gate video game series. Baldur's Gate, the first original, came out in 1998. I played it ruthlessly. Minsk is a selectable companion who will remain with you for a while. Boo is an item in his inventory that cannot be moved or removed. He's got a hamster, and he will scream for Boo to go for the eyes when he is running into combat. And seeing as how he's very effective in combat, I can only assume that Boo is helping out. Nice callback and whole miniature giant space hamster thing. It's a nice nod to the old fans. It's a nice inclusion of the Baldur's Gate lore in the written lore, and hamsters, giant space hamsters to be precise. I've got some problems with this book. There is a brief introduction about the creatures A to Z. They list all of the stat blocks in the book by their challenge rating. I like that. That's a really nice touch, actually. A couple of notes about things that are unique in this book. There aren't many. Encounters table that adds these creatures to random encounters. Very nice. The art is wonderful. No problems with the art. It's really well done. Layout's fine. The grammar, spelling, everything is okay. I kind of like the stat blocks. There's a really good variety of stuff in here. Mostly. I have what I need to run Spelljammer in this book. I have what this book promises me. Mostly. I have creatures, monsters, opposition, random encounters that I can throw into a Spelljammer game. Just flip open to a page, check the challenge rating, realize it's too high, go to another page. It's a pretty good book. It's a pretty good book. If you watched last week's review, you might know what I'm going to say next. This is light. It's a little over 60 pages. Put all 3 books together, you got 180 pages. It's a good source book's worth of material. This is light. The back tells me I've got 60 creatures in this book to work with. Kind of. Complaint number 1. There's a number of creatures in this book that are not unique, but presented in several different forms. The Arctooks here, for example, you get 3 different varieties of this particular creature. I mean, that's nice. That's not bad, but that's one creature to my thinking. That it might be splitting hairs or picking nits, but that's one entry. That's one entry there. So, like I said, there's a number of things in this book that have that kind of a listing. Not all of them, but a few of them. If you don't count that, if you count each creature, each even individual creature, rather than its variations as one, there are 39 creatures in this book. 39. They couldn't go one more. They couldn't stretch it. My OCD brain is kind of short-circuiting about 39. What the hell? It's a terrible number for things in the book. that was problem number one. 39. It's one. They're claiming different variants of a creature as a whole bunch of creatures, and there's 39 creatures. Problem number two. The player character races show up in this book as encounters and as monsters, creatures, members of the menagerie. There are other intelligent creatures in here. There's sapiens, a bunch of sapient creatures, but the PC races are in here, and I kind of get the feeling that's padding. And yeah, there's a couple of different, here's the gift shipmate, the gift shock trooper, and the gift warlord. They're all gifts. And I can make a GIF in the last book in the Astral Adventurers Guide. I can roll up a GIF, and I guess they could end up like this. They look more or less GIF-like. They've got GIF abilities, I think. They don't quite work out the way I would expect a GIF character to come about. It's a little confusing. Now I've got two versions of the GIF. I've got the kind of GIF that I can roll up, and I got the kind of GIF that can be encountered. And what's wrong with just making player character GIFs? These GIFs have opposition stat blocks. And you can reduce a character to these stat blocks, and that might be fun to try as an experiment, but why? The Astral Elves, the Hadazee, the GIF, the Thrycreen, the Plasmoids are all in here. And that seems like padding to me. It seems very much like padding to me. You don't need to do that, and it's a little bit, why? It's concerning, especially in a book that I'm starting to consider light. So the player character race is in here, minus humans. There's no humans in this book. But the other races listed in Spelljammer. Let's subtract those from the count. The Astral Elves and the GIF and the Hadazees and and Plasmoids and the Thrycreen. Let's take those out. So there's more like 34 unique creatures in here. About half what they're claiming on the back. $60 space-dwelling creatures, and even mention some of the player character races on the back. That's gonna bother me, but I'll circle back around to that. It says 2 problems. Problem number 3. In a book where I'm being concerned about them leaving things out, there's stuff that it seems like there's stuff in here that's padding. They should have left some more of this stuff out. But I get into the G section, and I am very pleased to see there is an entry for the Githyanki. Excellent. I'm a big fan of the Githyanki. I've got a Githyanki PC. A Githyanki Warlock, very, very interesting character. I really like him. Mordenkainen's Tome of Foes includes the detailed rules for a Githyanki PC and some of their lore, and that's awesome. And it goes from the Githyanki, the Hadazee, from G to H. We're missing someone. If you have the Githyanki in a book about astral travel, astral space, and all this manner of adventure, where are the Githzerai? They're in Mordenkainen's. They're right there. The Githyanki are the more martially minded descendants of the Gith, and the Githzerai are the more meditative, mentalist, cognitive-based kind of characters. Where are the Githzerai? You got extra listings for all the player character races. You don't have room for the Githzerai. Why is that? That's just a very interesting choice to me. Fourth problem, and again, this might just be me. Let me grab, where's that? Monster Manual. Perfectly good book, one of the core books for Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition, one of the core books for every edition of D&D past 3, really. Okay, Monster Manual's been around for a very long time. Yeah, and Monster Manual goes along with D&D, and there's a section in here for dragons, and that's in D. D for dragon, and under that D listing, prior to Dracolich, you got dragons, and you have all of the different varieties of dragons listed alphabetically are in here under dragon. So if I'm looking for dragons, I go to dragon and I look up the particular dragon under dragon. That is the convention that they use. First chromatic C and then metallic M, alphabetical. It's an understandable way to separate them out. If I'm looking for some new kind of dragon or some different kind of dragon to use, I can just go to the section under dragon, under D or dragon, look at dragon, and there's all the dragons. There are 2 dragons in here, a lunar dragon and a solar dragon. They're in 2 different parts of the book. In the section beginning with L, there is the lunar dragon. Section beginning with S, there's a solar dragon. Several varieties of each by age. It's not how you arrange your dragons in 5th edition D&D, or at least not how you should. There's a consistent convention for that. There should be an extra page, dragons, or dragons with a couple of notes on dragons in the astral realm, or how dragons in the astral realm interact, and then the lunar dragon, and then the solar dragon. That would be the convention I would expect. That's not the convention that we got. What is in here is mostly okay. It talks about the racial sections of the new races in the Astral Adventurer's Guide being light on information and not having about the backgrounds and the cultures and the lore of the races, just the barest mechanical description, aside from where they dug into the history of the Haddazee, and we know that's a mistake. So if you're going to list the races in this book, well, obviously you're going to not include any of that information. Just a brief overview of the race, a little bit about their history, without a single mention of any of the Haddazee's history. This book does not have a single word of history for the Haddazee in it, and nothing that reflects the material that was originally printed in the Astral Adventurer's Guide. Curious. And good they don't have to reprint 2 books. And while what little lore is added in here, and you got the various varieties of Astral Elves that you can encounter, and it reads like someone padding a dissertation. None of it is information that really adds to the experience of having those in the game or playing with them. And I'm starting to see a theme. This is not a bad book at all. For a 60-page book of different things you can encounter, different living things or constructs or what have you, undead. It's got just the right amount of whimsy. The humor in it is very good. It's got a couple of really thought-provoking things. There's some stuff in here that's really intriguing, really interesting, really looking forward to using some of this material. It's not bad stuff. It's light. It is light in its page count. It is light in its content selection. And they knew it because they padded their numbers. They padded it until they could list 60 spacefaring creatures in this book. This may come to be a theme. I'm reading these books one a week, one at a time. I have not yet dug into Light of Xerxes, but it's right here. It's next. Digging out of that as soon as I finish this recording. My guess is that I'm going to find Light of Xerxes light for a D&D adventure. So far, 2 books into this 3-book set, I still feel like this is a good start. There's plenty of good stuff here, and there's a couple of simple notes for converting any other D&D creature into something you can encounter in the astral realm. It's not. It's pretty good. It's a pretty good addition to this particular thing. It's so much a shadow of what we had with the 2nd edition Spelljammer material. And is it fair to compare this? Yeah, it's got the same name. I'm sorry to put the same name on it. You invite a comparison. So here's the comparison you invited. I dug up you can find the 2nd edition Spelljammer materials at Drive-Thru RPG. You can also find my products at Drive-Thru RPG. Search for Dakar Unlimited. You'll be surprised you did. So I bought Spelljammer 2nd E and the MC7, the Monster Compendium 7, which is the book that the Hadazee originally appeared in. Well, for D&D. And those are just big, dense, firmly packed books full of stuff. There's so much material and so volumes of information and ideas and places to go and things to do. And the comparison it to 2nd edition Spelljammer is not a favorable one. This is a shadow of that. This is a bare shadow of that. It has just enough substance to it that you can put the name on it. You can recognize it. Yeah, that's very much like Spelljammer. If you got through it in 180 pages. I recommend the box set at this point in time, 2 books in. Again, I'm finding the individual books light. I am finding them lacking in substance and material. I am finding them a foundation for a game in the future, but one which has to be filled in by more material, just has to. And if you put that burden on the dungeon master who receives it, then that's not a great product. I can't pick up the Astral Adventurer's Guide and say, let's run Spelljammer. I need to get some stuff around first. There's going to be questions from that table that I'm not going to be equipped to answer from that book. But, that being said, all 3 books in a package, even if they have not quite what I consider enough information to actually run this setting, and like Xerxes may surprise me, there may be so much setting-specific information in it that I can use that to fill in all the blanks. That'd be amazing. If that's my review next week, then color me surprised. I'm not expecting that, but it could happen. It absolutely could. It could be the glue that holds all the disparate pieces of this setting together. That'd be amazing. You're not seeing a lot of hope on my face, but that would be amazing. I'm going to suggest. I didn't full disclosure. I bought these off Amazon. I did not pay full price. I waited a little bit longer to get them than most other folks. It's okay. At a cut rate, what is it? Just over $40, 45, all things considered, fees and whatnot. $45 for one 180-page Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition book. That's actually not bad. That's about the going rate. That's a setting. That's a player's handbook, a monster manual, a DMG. That's in the range of those. Let's compare that to the page count of the monster manual. 334. So it's about 180 pages. About half this book. I might not have wanted to do that math. It's not a good picture to put those books together. Yeah. If you are interested in the Spelljammer setting, if you're a go-getter who wants to pen a couple of pieces of material to fill in a couple of blanks, or you feel like looking around and filling stuff in with other people's homebrews and whatnot, sure, it's okay. It's worth that. It's worth what they're asking for it for the amount of material that's in it. Just. It's competently produced. It's a professional piece. Art's great. The binding quality is great. The art, yeah, I just can't say enough good stuff about the art there. It's really well accomplished. The stat blocks are functional. They work, and they didn't need to put the player character races in here. Sorry, I'm gonna obsess on that one because it's bothering me. But you've got a good amount of opposition at varying levels. You've got things that can challenge parties from low levels to high levels. It's okay. It's okay. It's so far 2 books in. Yeah. If the adventure, if Light Exorixis is competent, if it is a competent Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition adventure, if it introduces people to the setting, takes you through stuff that you can expect to do in the setting, and if there's a proper hook, if the storyline is vaguely consistent, if there is a potential end with payoff, if you get something for the effort the adventure asks you to put in, if there isn't material in it that's designed to deliberately frustrate a player character, or players for that matter, okay, then maybe, then in that case, I will say, yeah, this 3-book set's worth it. But I'm not going to know that till next week. Well, thank you very much for following me along on this section of not that much more to say about this book. If you enjoyed the video, give me a thumbs up. If you didn't enjoy the video, give me a thumbs down. Feedback is feedback. If you'd like to hear me talk about some other products or review other stuff, subjects like to hear me cover, questions like to hear me answer, leave me a comment down below. I will love getting your comment. You'll love leaving me one. If you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, why not? My channel is awesome. Hit the subscribe button. And if you do, you might also want to hit the notification bell so you're alerted when my videos become available. If you would like to contribute to the channel in a more substantial manner, I invite you to hit me up my Patreon page, www.patreon.com/ScottCorum. Consider donating. Absolutely anything helps us me to make better videos more often. In the meantime, thank you very much for watching. I'm Scott Corum. This is what has mattered to me. I will see you next time on the next Matters of DeCorum.